If you're looking for some straight up marketing advice that's super chilled and also a bit of a laugh, then grab yourself a drink and get ready for Marketing and Margaritas, a podcast that makes marketing entertaining. Brought to you by Rebel Nation, direct from regional Queensland.
Hello and welcome to Marketing Margaritas. I am joined today by Wendy from Healthy, Clean and Green. As you can see, there's no Lani here today. She's off sick. So luckily it's not just me by myself though. Wendy is here to make sure that I don't ramble on and get annoying. So we'll take care of you. So today's topic is all about how to market your business or some insights about marketing your business when it's a little bit of a challenging marketing landscape for you. So some businesses can be super straightforward. They know what their point of difference is. They know who their target market is. It's quite niche. Their messaging, their channels, all that sort of stuff can be quite clear. Whereas for some businesses, it's more challenging. And Wendy has one of those businesses. And so I just wanted to bring her on today to have a chat about her story, about the challenges that she's found and how she's overcome them, and anything that we can all learn from her about how to improve marketing for ourselves. So welcome, Wendy. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Jade. Thanks for having me.
That's all right, dude. So obviously with Healthy, Clean and Green, you are in retail, you sell products, but there's more to it than that. What is the actual industry? Like, what do you term your industry?
So I like to consider it as environmental education.
Yeah, cool. I like that very much. Environmental education.
Sounds really class.
Well, it's pretty important too. Like, to be fair, like, we giggle, but at the same time, It is sort of, it's our planet and all that kind of stuff. So being educated about our environment, kind of a big deal. So yeah, it's important what you do. Not that marketing is not super important, it's basically akin to brain surgery and stuff, not to brag, like you can't live without it, but not really.
It's true.
It's true. Well, if you're in business, you can't live without marketing. So, and marketing does keep things going. Business keeps things going. So I guess marketing is kind of essential.
It's important.
Okay, so what is it that you actually do at Healthy, Clean and Green?
So I like to educate and encourage people to make better choices. And through education and retail, I source those better choices and offer them to the people locally, making it easy for them.
Cool. Yeah. So you do all the legwork for us. You do the research. You go, okay, here's a better choice for this product as opposed to like the standard stuff that you might be getting already.
Yep.
And that's for things like you do a lot of household stuff, correct?
Yeah. So I focus on the everyday things. So your kitchen, your bathroom, your laundry, when you're out and about doing your shopping, that sort of thing. So things that everybody uses in their everyday life.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And that's from say, for example, your cleaners and stuff through to toothbrushes and toilet paper, like that, to the scrubby things. Like it's kind of
things. Yes, your kitchen brushes.
Aren't you glad that you work with me on your marketing? You're like, this is why I pay Jade to help me. She knows her shit.
She knows my stuff.
Yeah,
those scrubby things.
Yeah, I'm really good at it.
And I know exactly what you're talking about, so it's fine.
And so what drew you into this? Like, what drew you to this industry?
So I guess I was always a little bit of a eco-warrior type thing. Like, I've always used your recyclable bags and things like that. Once I had children, I kind of tried to drop some of the chemicals a bit in the home, and that just sort of one thing led to another, and I just made better choices here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, okay, cool. And I think one of the main messages that I've always gotten from your marketing as well is about that it is small changes for a big impact. So it's not that, and I imagine this is part of the educational awareness side of things for you as well, is that I don't need to go home and throw out everything and purchase all new stuff and have everything be super maxed out, environmentally friendly sort of thing.
Yes.
It is just a matter about making small changes when you can, as you can, because it's more sustainable in the long term to keep that kind of those behaviours and habits going.
Yes, and I would be devastated if somebody went home and chucked out all their stuff to buy new stuff.
Because that would also be not environmentally friendly.
What are you doing? But
just thought I'd fill up landfill with all this extra shit.
So I can buy some better stuff.
That's not how it works?
No. I'm bad at business for the fact that I've actually talked some people out of sales. I'll be honest.
I do the same thing.
I'm sure you've got a container that will work for that. You don't need to buy this container.
Yeah, you don't need to use this. You can probably just do this yourself.
Yes,
You'll be fine.
You've already got something that will work. So, but yeah, definitely let's replace things as you go. As they need replacing, replace them with a better choice rather than just continuing to do the habitual thing and buying whatever it is you're used to buying. So,
yeah. And I think that's, what you're talking about really is behavior change as well. And, for most of us, I mean, who doesn't have 50 million things going on all of the time, whether it's work or family or personal, there's commitments and meetings and appointments and there's so much shit. And then when you do get 5 minutes to yourself, your prob's not going to be sitting there thinking about what kind of would be a better toothbrush. Like, I personally am not thinking that. I'm probably just thinking, what can I watch on TV that will make me not think further?
Switch off for
what brainless TV can I watch?
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
I'm not delving into toothbrush research.
And that's why a lot of people don't change, because for one, they don't know how bad what they're using is, and two, they don't know there's a better choice out there. Or if they are a bit aware of the environment and think, like, I want to make a change, it's so overwhelming.
Yeah,
like, you look at it and you just go, holy shit, where do I start? Like, I'm going back to my plastic toothbrush because it's too hard. So, yeah, I like to do that research, get it out there, and then I can talk to people and make it easy for them.
Yeah.
And build that trust with my clients so that, like you, say, hey, Jade, you need to use this toothbrush, or Jade, this is a better brush. And
I'll
you go,
I believe you, Wendy.
Yes. Yeah.
So basically you're just trying to create a cult of followers that
correct.
all just do what you say without questioning you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
dude,
right.
I'm all about that. But that's a really good segue, though, into what I wanted to talk about with the marketing side of things is that, yes, it is really overwhelming. And one of the, so not only is retail a massively competitive space to be in, and I know that you do education overall, but part of that is actually here's the products that you can buy that will help you make those better choices and make that sustainable impact in your environmentally friendly impact. But outside of retail, being in that environmental area as well, it's so, as a consumer, it is massively overwhelming because there's so much information and there's just so many people talking about, from not just businesses and stuff, but, government and influencers, all this kind of thing, that people bang on and on about, organic, biodegradable, environmentally friendly, eco-friendly, climate change, rah, rah, rah. We hear so much of it. So from a business perspective, trying to do marketing in that really noisy space, dude, how do you do that? I mean, I'm assuming that is, that's why I want to talk to you. I'm guessing that's probably the biggest challenge you have, right?
Yeah. So greenwashing from businesses is the biggest problem that I have, because so many people are out there using those words extremely loosely, and there's, I guess, no regulations around what they can and can't say on their packaging. And a person will be at the supermarket and they'll see biodegradable or compostable or whatever, and they'll go, oh, I'll buy that because I think
that's a better choice.
That's a better choice. I'm making a better choice.
Well,
go me.
Mm-hmm.
But the overall big picture is that product is not a better choice. So someone might put that it's compostable on their packaging, but then if you actually get down to the nitty-gritties and have a look at the fine print, it's only...
Which we all do every time we buy everything.
Absolutely.
Every product gets a full review before I put it in the shopping cart.
That's why it takes 4 hours to do groceries. But, it'll say on there that it's only commercially compostable. It's not home compostable. And, well, there's not that many...
That's a tricky little one. I didn't know that one.
So there's not that many commercial composts around, so it has to go off to a certain place, because in a home compost it'll never get hot enough, and so it won't actually
break down.
It'll be still there 10 years later. So, but the person that's just walking down the supermarket and goes, oh, compostable one, I'll grab that, thinking they're doing the right thing when really they're not. So, so companies that greenwash and make their product sound better than it really is are a big problem, because, they use it all the time.
And they're saturating the space, but they're also kind of putting out misleading information.
Yes.
So it's not only making it noisy, it's also kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
Well.
They're bullshitting people into buying products.
Two sides things. That's what I was saying. I read an article recently about a big super company, Future Super, I think it was, for Australia, or the Australian company or whatever. And they put out a Facebook post. So one Facebook post where they said that they were contributing or helping, or they were doing something really environmentally friendly because of all of the super customers they had. It allowed them to have XYZ impact.
Yep.
And ASIC have fined them for that one Facebook post they put out because they've overinflated.
Yep.
They've basically said, we're doing this. And they're like, nah, you're really doing this. Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
And that's the thing. For anyone who thinks that social media is a throwaway thing, like, it's not, man. It's a highly used marketing channel. So what you put out there, just like anything you do in business, should be the truth.
Yeah.
But we can't always rely on that.
That's right.
And like you said, a lot of us don't really want to go and do that research and that kind of thing too. So I think, you know, for you with your marketing is that the fact that you are like a local trusted person who is interested in this stuff, has done all of that research. And so when you give that advice, it's not, you know, big XYZ enterprise saying this is compostable. It's you know, it's Wendy from Healthy Clean and Green going,
that's right.
This is probs the one you should be buying.
Yes, that's it. So,
okay. So when we think about that challenge of it being, you know, really noisy, a lot of bullshit getting flown around and people getting overwhelmed and tuning out all that crap, how do you get cut through then? Like, what have you learnt over the years that helps you get your message across?
Consistency is key.
Gold stars. Big gold stars for that.
Yes.
It's so boring, but marketing, often consistency is just one of the things that it just works really well.
Yeah, it is. Because, the more often they see it, then they, I want to say believe it, but that's not what I'm trying to, you know.
The more often they see it, the more they get familiar with it, the more they know, like, and trust it.
Yes, exactly.
It's like anything. We need multiple touch points and stuff. So if you were to say to me, oh, Jade, did you know that plastic toothbrushes actually have XYZ amount of landfill? I might be like, that doesn't really mean anything to me. Yeah. Whereas, like, you know, they also leach out these plastics and, like, do this off-gassing, and that creates these kind of health concerns. You know, like, there's all different angles to approach to help educate people. But also when you hear something once, you don't, like, not a lot of people just act on it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Like, if you come across and you're like, this is a better product, I'm not just going to go, all right, cool, I'll just do that now.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah.
And so how do you find, like, when it comes to consistency, like, how do you stay consistent? Like, what are some things that you found that help you be consistent with your messaging?
Scheduling is the best thing ever.
Good girl, more gold stars.
You will see when, I've been good, because there'll be lots of nice posts. And right now, don't look at my Facebook page because it's been a little while since I posted. So I've been off having fun and haven't been doing my scheduling days. So, but definitely just getting in there and scheduling it, because then you can cover multiple platforms in, you know, a day. You can get heaps of posts done rather than, I used to kind of try and remember to post every day. Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's stressful.
You get into the scheduling and you're like, oh, okay, I've done this one, I've done this one. Oh, and I've done this one. Write it in your contact calendar and that looks so good. You're like, look at all my content.
And I think that's such a key point though, man. Like, I think a really fundamental part about being consistent is actually setting aside set time to do your marketing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not just expecting that you, in your business every day, are just going to come up with awesome marketing content all of the time, you know, fitting in around all the other 50 million things that you need to do. Scheduling that time in for yourself to then schedule out content, for example. Yeah. Like, that's one way that you can keep being consistent, just as, like, you know, a matter of course, as opposed to just thinking it's magically going to fucking happen for you.
Yes. And it works because you can see it. Like, the more you post, then, you know, you'll see someone that's, you know, maybe just using an emoji, and then a little while down the track, they're commenting on stuff, and then a little down the track, you know, they might reach out and ask a question.
You're getting through to them and connecting with them. The power of social media.
But whereas if you're just doing your one post here and your one post there, or
they're not building that relationship with you.
That's right. Yeah. So.
That is so perfect. I couldn't have scripted that. Like, that was just awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So consistency is key, and staying consistent by scheduling your time, etc. Yes. Key thing that you found that's important. Excellent. All right. So that's those one and that one. Next on my little cheat sheet of notes here. So what do you find works well for you in marketing? So you've been in business
7 years.
7 years now. And so is Healthy Clean Green your first business?
It's my first solely my business.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this was the one you started 7 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you've been going 7 years now.
Yep.
Cool. I'd just like to establish context. So out of that 7 years, like so far, what have you found is that your best marketing channel?
So newsletters. Newsletters are my best.
Wow, what a revelation. I could never have guessed that was
somebody
going to be...
told me to do a newsletter.
I think I remember vaguely I was there around that time or something.
Yeah, I've been there.
Someone told you over and over newsletters, and then they
Newsletters.
worked out a strategy and template and made you do it, and then you did it, and it worked out really
And it's
well.
working. It's really good.
Wow. I think newsletters are a great space for you though, because it is that the mix of what you do where it is here's the person behind the brand. So here is Wendy with her very true story of like, you don't have to do everything all at once. I don't do everything all at once, and I'm an eco person. So if you do one change, like that still has a big difference.
Yeah.
But then it's also that mixture of like, oh, did you know, and a bit of education stuff, and then the actual products, like here's how to action this knowledge that you've just picked up sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I think it's an awesome space for you. So I'm glad that it works well for you.
It does.
And so how long have you been doing your newsletters for?
Not 7 years. Probably, this is probably only my second year of newsletters.
Yeah, okay. So 2 years in and you're finding that's your best channel so far out of 7 years overall.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yes.
And so I guess that's the other thing too, like whether it's marketing or finance or ops or whatever it might be, I think that for all of us, there are things that we want to do that we have a pretty good idea will work for us, but we don't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, oh, I've always wanted to be doing X, Y, Z. It's like, well, why don't you? So for you, why did it take you so long to get to doing newsletters, which have quickly become
really good?
Yeah.
So not knowing what I was doing, basically. So I wanted to write a newsletter. Not really knowing the template system and whatnot, couldn't really get it to work for me. So then I'd randomly put out a burst. I also tend to talk a lot. So my newsletters were very, very long when they came out. So they probably didn't get read.
Because you're just thinking your audience, like, oh, they're overwhelmed. You know the way to get through to them?
It's not to overwhelm them
just
some
slam
more.
them with as much information as possible.
That's right.
Perfect.
Because I can't leave a sentence
What a
out.
strategy.
Everything I know is imperative. I can't cut it shorter.
Dude, equally verbose. I 100% get you.
Yes.
It's like someone asked me the most simple of questions and I'm like, I really wish I could give you a simple answer,
There is
but here's
no
my
simple
3-hour lecture
That's
on
right.
it.
Absolutely. It's important that you know this because...
It is. They need to make informed decisions. Like you're trying to
Yes.
help people. No, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So yeah, that, and then time. So because a newsletter was taking me so long to put out because I didn't have a template set up or anything like that. So basically I was starting from scratch each time, and then I was like, shit, how do you move this photo? Like, I can't remember how I did this last time and whatnot. It would take a whole day. It'd be like, oh God, now it's done. So then you wouldn't get around to doing it very often because it's taking me a whole day to do this newsletter.
Yeah, and if you're doing it the way that you were, I'm guessing at the time you probably weren't really getting results either.
No.
And so when that happens, you're like, this is taking a long time. This is not getting results. What a fucking waste.
Yeah.
Like that's an easy, pretty thing to kibosh. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay,
they're
so-
not working for me. Or so it seemed.
Considering, okay, so you want to do newsletters, you actually did have a crack at it, and quite understandably, based on what was happening, you stopped doing it.
Yep.
What brought you back to it then?
Rebel Nation workshop.
Oh, really? Are you serious though?
I love the Rebel Nation workshops.
Oh, okay. I didn't
It's got-
realize that.
No, yeah, like, because...
I knew you and I had conversations
Yeah.
about it, but I
Yeah.
didn't really, I can't remember like where they took place or anything.
One of those, workshops that I did, I jotted down things I wanted to do, and then later on I came and asked for help,
I know,
sometimes
it's
it's
surprising
hard
how
to
much we
do.
can't actually just do everything ourselves. That's a hard lesson to
yeah.
learn, man, hey.
Yep. And then out of the things that I wanted to do, obviously had to work within my budget and whatnot, got you guys to do me some quotes, decided that, yep, this is the one I want to run with, got you guys to help me with the template, that now is just there, and I just go in and I put the information in and send it.
And you do such a great job of
And
it.
it
And I can tell when
happens.
you're being consistent with it as well. Like you get into a real rhythm with it.
Yes.
Too. Like, because obviously I'm on your mailing database.
Yeah.
And so then obviously, you know, you put the products and stuff in there and then you get click-throughs and then you get sales. And so that's how you're determining the return on investment there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Okay.
I can see it working. I have people email me to say, oh, great newsletter, and ask a question.
I love when that happens.
So do I. I'm like, oh, little happy dance.
The amount of times that people will email me back at Wild Oats and go, oh, you probably don't really care or don't feel like you have to reply or I don't want to bother you,
no,
but
tell
blah, blah,
me.
blah. And I'm like, no, please.
Yeah, I love to hear that somebody's
So do
reading
I.
my stuff. Like,
It's so cool, right?
and if they comment on something that I've written right down the bottom, I'm like, oh, they read the whole thing. Yes.
I gave a shit about something I put out there. It is. It's such a nice
it's a buzz.
feeling. Like,
It's a buzz.
I mean, obviously, you know, we do marketing for our businesses. It's our livelihood and what we believe in and all that kind of good stuff as well. But at the same thing, business is actually very personally rewarding as well.
Yeah.
And I think that marketing is one of those things where we can get those wins that kind of sustain us along the way, where you're sort of like, this is such a big problem, there's so much to do, I'm not making any progress, or whatever that day's overwhelm is. Those little things can really be like, oh, well, I got through to that person.
Somebody read my newsletter.
I made a difference for that person in even the slightest way.
Yeah, for sure.
It does. It kind of keeps you going, hey?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Gold stars all around. Okay, so I wanted to get from you some advice from you of what you would sell other people. You know, you're 7 years in on your business journey. And obviously for you, like your space more so than probably most, it's not going to get any better.
No.
It's, you know what I mean? Like those conversations around the environment and stuff like that are only going to become more and more prevalent. It's going to become more and more cluttered.
Yeah.
So for you, it's going to become more and more challenging as time goes on.
Thanks.
So
Thanks for
just
that.
to like, you know, bring the party down now that we were all happy and high, I'm like, let's get down to the grass tax.
Righto.
Brass tacks, yeah. Grass tax, oh God. You know, so yes, it's a challenging space. It's going to be for a while. You've got some experience in this now. For anyone else that was coming into business or they find that it's challenging to market their business, what's some advice that you would give to them?
Definitely ask for help with the stuff that you don't know about. And even if it's not handing over the thing and say, hey, you do my Facebook posts or whatever, like I'm a control freak, so I like to have that. But go and get the help on how to make that Facebook post better. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, learn how to use what you're doing and
it's
how to
not
make
just
it quick and
marketing,
easy.
it's like everything. Like
Absolutely.
asking for help from people who do it for a living.
Yeah, that's right. Who know how to do it, because that makes it quicker, that makes it easier, it improves your stuff.
Why do we get in that mindset of we have to do everything and figure shit out ourselves, and that asking for help is like you're bothering people, or that it's like a sign of weak, you know what I mean? Like, why do we get that mindset, man? It's just crazy, right?
It's a whole different realm.
Yeah.
So you have to do a different podcast on that.
I don't want to. I don't think I want to delve deep into that. I'm afraid of what I might find.
That's right. Yeah. But definitely ask for help. And then I think the content calendar, creating a content calendar is massive, because you can just open that and go, holy crap, I've done nothing all this week. Look at that. And a platform that lets you schedule across multiple things. So the work smarter, not harder. I still said it the wrong way around. But yeah, work smarter, not harder, because again, that was another thing that, I'd try, I've got to put something on this one, and then I'd go and, now I've got to put something on this one. And now I've got to put something on this one. So, that scheduling, changing it a little bit, popping it out there on all the platforms is good. So,
repurposing your content. And I think your content calendar, like that helps you with that consistency in your messaging and stuff, because it makes sure that you're hitting all of your different messages, etc. But then it's also, like you said, working smarter, not harder. It's like, well, if I'm going to do a post about toothbrushes here on Facebook, I'll then modify it a bit in the graphic, etc., and pop it on Instagram. And then a few weeks later, I might do it again and pop it on LinkedIn with a bit more of a business angle. Probably not toothbrushes, but like toilet paper would be a really good one for
a business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like from that one topic, that one post, then, the couple of minutes it took to modify and reschedule here and then modify and reschedule there, that's not only that consistency of your messaging and using all your different platforms, but it's just making your time more efficient and effective as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Oh man, I did not actually think that these would be the points that you would bring up. So the fact that you have, I'm like, it kind of sounds like I orchestrated it, but it really did not. I'm not that smart. I just knew that you were doing all of these things. And I thought you were doing really well, but I'm glad that we've been a part of your journey for this. Yes, this was actually an announcement about
Rebel Nation.
100%. Okay, so I have one more question for you here today. If you could go back and change your approach to any marketing activity from the start, what would it be?
It comes back to the newsletter.
That's fair enough. Like if that's now your biggest return, then if at the start, instead of trying to power through and do things yourself, if you'd gotten some help and started what you're doing now earlier in your journey.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I guess learning a little bit how to track your stuff as well, because tracking is not something I do good. So I guess when I think about those first couple of years, I was trying to do everything but wasn't really doing anything very well. So I was like, bit of this, bit of that. And then I go, oh, that's not working. So, And
that's how people get burnt out and stuff too, man. We try to do all of these different things. We're not really paying attention to how they're going. And then it's like, well, I'm spending all this time doing this and I don't know if it's working. And so I'll just get rid of it. You know, like it's not really it's not giving those marketing channels the best chance possible for your business. And, when you try some things, they're not going to work.
Yeah, that's right. But then you can know, okay, I can see this is not working. I can see this one is working. I'm going to take the time I'm putting into this one and focus more on this one. So
using data to make informed decisions. You're a star pupil, man.
I don't look at the tracking very often, but I do go by I just read your newsletter and those emails. Oh my gosh. But when you do and you can see it working, then it's, you know what's working, what's not, and you can, because
and that's what it all comes down to, quite simply.
Yeah,
what's working, what's not. Like people would say, how should I market my business, or they want us to go, what do you think is the best thing for us to do? And I'm like, the best thing for you to do is to try different things and then pay attention.
Yeah,
to see what works and what doesn't.
See what's working in your business. That's right.
100%, man. Yeah, it's not rocket science.
We make it so hard.
Look, that's just life in general, especially in business, man. I had a brekkie meeting yesterday with one of my mentors, who's also a good friend of mine, and she said that, like, at the moment, she's really trying to get back to basics and keeping it simple, and how, we just tend to overcomplicate things, and especially when you're a big picture thinker, you're like, oh, here's all the things we could be doing and what we need to be doing and how we could, have an impact or whatever. And it's like, what's the small thing that you can do today?
Absolutely.
That can put you towards that bigger picture, but just a small thing to tick off today, because that stuff doesn't happen if you're too busy getting caught up in all of the whirlwind and stuff.
Again, you've got to take the overwhelm out of it.
And keeping it simple, making those small changes, those small decisions, one bit at a time. You don't have to do everything at once.
Absolutely.
Oh, look, see, this is perfect advice for environmentally friendly stuff as well as life and business and stuff. We basically just solved the world's problems in one podcast.
Absolutely.
That was my aim for today, so congratulations to us.
Gold stars all around.
Thank you so much for coming along today, Wendy. I really appreciate it, man. That was a lot of fun. I did miss Lani, but it was still, I think we did okay.
We did.
I think she would have been proud of me.
I hope so.
Thanks so much for joining us, and hope you got a lot out of today's podcast. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Marketing and Margaritas. Find more free marketing tips, tricks and laughs at rebelnation.com.au.